Mike Williams was a 4-star recruit out of high school. He committed to Clemson after considering Alabama, Notre Dame, and South Carolina. When he joined the Tigers in 2013 as a freshman, there were already 2 future NFL wide receivers on the roster. Those 2 were Sammy Watkins and Martavis Bryant. After they left for the NFL in 2014, Williams stepped into the number 1 receiver role and gained over 1,000 yards in 2 of the 3 seasons, with the 3rd being held back by a severe neck injury. Versus Alabama in the 2016 National Championship, Williams showed he was a physical receiver and does a great job of fighting and winning those contested 50-50 balls. At Clemson, it was highlight reel catch after highlight reel catch. As you can see in the championship game, he showed plus tracking ability to keep the ball in his sights and aggressiveness to bring them in. With long arms, he has a great catch radius and does a good job attacking those balls out of the air. Looking towards the draft, I think his best fit would be with the Arizona Cardinals. They need someone to learn from Larry Fitzgerald at the tail end of his career. He could also take over from Michael Floyd's role in the offense after he was cut for off-the-field issues. So what grade will we give Williams? We'll have that answer for you in just a moment. Alright, you've waited long enough. We are giving Williams an early 2nd round grade, and here's why. With Deshaun Watson, they developed a strong chemistry to complete a high number of back shoulder fades. Versus Auburn, as shown in the 2016 game, they executed those perfectly over and over again, even when the Tigers would use press man coverage against him. At the release, Williams can get slowed down by a good hard jam at the line of scrimmage. Here's an example earlier in the same Auburn game. If Williams is allowed to start running, he typically does well at fighting through contact. Against Louisville, he showed he's an excellent hands fighter and has the strength to not let defenders affect his routes. As a route runner, Williams is pretty raw and needs a lot of work becoming more consistent at running precise routes. He needs to get better at the subtleties of using jab steps and head nods in order to create natural separation. In the 2016 ACC Championship versus Virginia Tech, many of his routes were predictable and allowed cornerbacks who did not match his physical talent to beat him in man or off-man coverage. Even though he was covered relatively well, he did a good job of using his hands to create late separation at the top of his routes. He also used his body to box out defenders to make the catch, like in this play versus Auburn. As the season progressed and he would best certain cornerbacks with his physical play, defensive coordinators started bracking him in order to slow him down. Ohio State did that in the 2016 playoff game. This is the type of coverage that he dictates on the field with his talent alone. As a run blocker, he leaves a lot to be desired. This can be exemplified versus Virginia Tech. His inconsistent willingness to use his large body and drive at defenders, or at the very least box them out, was somewhat disheartening. Sometimes he showed promise, but too many times it felt like he played small, or not with any anger or aggression to overpower a smaller cornerback. From a pro comparison standpoint, Demaryius Thomas from the Denver Broncos fits in the best in my opinion. Both were prototypical wide receivers with a large catch radius. This was shown again versus Virginia Tech. Also, both had a knack for winning the 50-50 contested balls, and both were not good route runners and needed a lot of work to create separation in the NFL. If your team drafts Mike Williams this season, you have to understand that you're drafting him based purely on his potential. He needs a lot of work to refine his releases, like in this play versus Alabama. This will help him get separation off the line of scrimmage against the faster, more physical defenders in the NFL. I'm sure as a rookie, he'll flash that occasional spectacular catch like he did here, but it'll be totally up to him to take that next step and develop into a true number 1 receiver. Well, that's all I have for you. If you like this video and want to support the channel, feel free to follow the links to my PayPal and my Patreon accounts. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at SamYarGold.